So this is vintage, but definitely not a vintage four-wheel drive and definitely not the typical collectible we cover here at Vintage Four-Wheel Drive Auctions. But today's auction vehicle is so remarkable, I had to cover it. Today we're going to review an auction that you don't see every day on Bring a Trailer. But before we launch into today's example, if you're new to the channel, I'm Trey and this is Vintage Four-Wheel Drive Auctions. We vet all the active truck and 4x4 category auctions on Bring a Trailer and highlight only the top tier of vehicles from this segment. So if you're in the vintage SUV market, you'll want to keep an eye on these auctions. With each video, our objective is to discuss and show you what to look for in a vintage SUV and what to avoid. Our hope is that this simple video format encourages interaction with viewers on vehicle condition and ending price points. Starting today, we have a 1982 Mercedes 300TD turbo diesel wagon. This one has a low 422,000 miles shown. Wait, what did he just say, you may be thinking? Well, let's start with a little history. This 300TD wagon is part of the W123 class of Mercedes produced from 1976 to 1985. It wasn't uncommon for the W123 model to rack up huge mileage with many instances of over 1 million miles. The current record holder is a Greek taxi driver who has 2.8 million miles on his 1976 240D. Mercedes introduced the 300D wagon in 1980 with a naturally aspirated diesel engine, but that was replaced with a turbo diesel in 1981. The other crazy thing about this 300D wagon was that it had a whopping price of $35,000 in 1982. That's the equivalent of approximately $110,000 in 2023, but I digress. Let's get back to this auction. This 300TD wagon has a 4-speed automatic transmission. The wagon's finished in a unique metallic blue over Palomino MB-Tex upholstery. This one's located in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and is being sold by 11 after 9. And it's a relist after the buyer failed to proceed with the first auction in April. We've got 6 days left on this auction. There are 3 bids to $2,500, and currently there are 24 comments on the auction. With this being a relist and an extremely unique auction vehicle with almost 500,000 miles, I expect this to be a highly engaging auction. I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets bid up over the first auction close of $11,500. Let's look at the pros and the cons of this 1982 Mercedes 300TD wagon. First, with the pros. This wagon's 422,000 miles are a testament to Mercedes engineering. I wouldn't be surprised if this one makes it another 400,000 miles. This wagon's also finished in a unique metallic blue paint over Palomino MB-Tex interior. From a cursory review of the initial pictures, this appears to be in great condition for the age and the extreme mileage. Looking at the work done on this 300TD, the auction lists replacement of the battery, thermostat, valve cover gasket, drive belts, fuel injectors and filters, engine mounts and dampers, in addition to flushing the coolant, charging the oil in hydraulic fluid, and recharging the air conditioning. A review of the cons would include several accidents listed on this CARFAX on this 41-year-old wagon, most recently with a side swipe that occurred in 2006. The seller notes there are exterior imperfections with the paint, the cruise control is inconsistent, the vacuum-actuated tailgate lock is slow to engage, and the upholstery on the driver's seat is cracked, as well as other imperfections on the interior. Moving on to the CARFAX for this wagon is somewhat incomplete, which is not uncommon for a 41-year-old vehicle. It lists ownership in California, Idaho, Washington, and Montana. Given the history in these dry climates, I don't expect to find significant rust, but we'll examine this further in the pictures. Before we get into the pictures, we always review the comments section first. As I've said on previous shows, this is a best practice that can save you time when you're looking through pictures because the Bring a Trailer audience has some extensive knowledge on these marquee vehicles. The members will often call out areas of concern like rust, paint or mechanical abnormalities, or potential mechanical watchouts. This commenter says this wagon has the best color combo. The seller states this wagon had long-time California ownership with regular maintenance. Another commenter talks about his surprise at the lack of dash cracks in this 41-year-old vehicle. They also point out the fact that it still has the original front windshield is also very impressive. Lower down in the comments, the seller addresses the prior listing and the fact that the auction winner was a non-paying bidder. That's helpful because without the explanation, there could be some concern why the vehicle was relisted. So far, everything I'm seeing on this wagon is positive and it's also informative. Let's jump into the pictures. This auction has an exhaustive 500 pictures, so we will obviously not look at all of them. But I do want to show you what I look for when I'm considering a purchase. The first picture is a nice side shot of the wagon. With this great blue exterior, I'm a little disappointed with the picture because this color is really great and it doesn't fully capture the essence with the lighting in my opinion. Picture 41 does the color a bit more justice with a nice contrast against the Palomino MB-Tex interior. Picture 45, I'm surprised this guy on the bike is heads down. As a 300TD lover, I probably would have crashed into this super clean high mileage example. Picture 77 gives another nice feel for the beautiful color and condition of this wagon. There are several pictures starting with picture 86 that show the jack hole, which was signature to the 123 Mercedes. I'd asked seller for a picture with the plug removed because this area can hide rust. Picture 145, we see a shot of the rear lens cover. Everything looks good with no sign of fogging or oxidation. I did note an imperfection in the paint in picture 186, but again, this is a 422,000 mile wagon. Pic 189 shows a closer view of the jack hole for added perspective for my comment earlier in the video. Beginning in picture 190, we see the bunt alloy wheels are all in good condition, no visible issues or road rash. In pic 194, we see that the driver's seat is covered and the seller noted issues with the leather, hence the cover. You can see more detail in picture 201. Not a big deal, this will be more of a driver than a show car. Honestly, I'd consider buying this just to roll over the 500,000 mark in it. We read in the comments that there are no dash cracks. Picture 226 does a great job capturing that. I was surprised by the condition of the netting in picture 247. Even with much lower mileage cars, it's common to see these drooping or sagging. Jumping ahead to picture 315, you have a series of engine bay pics of the 3.0 liter turbo diesel inline 5. These engines were known for their durability and longevity, but I can say as a previous owner of a 123 Mercedes, you're not going to win many races in this wagon. Picture 376 starts the undercarriage series. From what I'm observing, I don't see any notable rust. The dry climate ownership really shows on this one. Moving ahead to picture 416, we see this 123 wagon does come with books and manuals. This is a sign of carrying ownership over the years. It's pretty common for these to be missing from an older vehicle like this. You can see in picture 432 an additional binder with extensive records. Again, a lot of care was given to this car over the years. The ending photos like picture 493 show the seller topping off fluids in the wagon so it's ready to go for the new owner. Classy touch. Taking a look at pricing for this W123 wagon, we know that it previously sold for $11,500 with the prior auction. Going back 2 years, the high watermark for a 300TD wagon is $64,500 for an 83 wagon with only 38,000 miles that sold in October 2021. An auction more in line with the current 422,000 mile example would be one with 632,000, which is a 1984 300TD that went for $8,151 in February 2022. It should be interesting to see where this one nets out on the second go round. My guess is that it hovers in the ballpark of the previous auction close, but that may surpass the 11.5 mark just due to the uniqueness factor and some of the comments I'm reading. So let me know, what do you guys think about this Mercedes 300TD auction? We would love to hear your feedback on pricing and condition in the comments. Also, we're a new channel, and if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. This goes a long way to inspire the creation of future content. Thanks again for watching. See you again for more vintage four-wheel drives.